120 World War II Allied and Axis aircraft simulations, a whole bundle of combat scenarios for air, land, and sea battles, ton of miles of realistic battle terrain, and up to 1,000 player battle scenarios. You know, in the not too distant future, I could picture reenacting World War II with players from the same countries that did it the first time. So the ultimate goal is recurring revenue with relatively low overhead. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Dale and get into his piece of the action. Dale, take it away.
I'm going to be going through 3 videos. The first 2 are relatively short. The first one is just a very quick demo of how to enter the game and get flying. The second one will be a bomber mission. And then the third one is videos that our players made of a recreation of the Battle of Britain. In the game, every couple of months, players will do a recreation of the battle of a big battle scene. So let me do one thing here because I lost. We'll just go this way. But anyway, here's the brief demo.
With the arena loaded, I can double click to go to an airfield. Then I will go into the hangar, select an airplane, in this case a P-51D, and go out west on the runway. I'll start my engine by hitting the E key to get it going. Now I'll give it full throttle and start my takeoff run.
Sorry.
A little bit above 100 miles an hour here, I'll take off and raise my gear by hitting the G key. I'm going to climb out to about 3,000 feet and then turn back into the airfield and shoot at a drone. Okay, coming up on 3,000 feet and turning back in toward the airfield. There's a Focke-Wulf 190. Come up and around and follow him and shoot at him. Yards out, 400, 200, and now I will go and land. So I've got my throttle chopped, I'm descending. I'll start getting some flaps out with the Q key. Each press of the Q gives me more flaps. I'll get my gear out with the G key and manage my slope and my speed with the throttle. Stop. Bring up the clipboard map and click End Sortie.
No, nothing to it, huh, Dale?
Yeah, exactly. That was just a demo of a. I'm looking for our show video panel. Thank you. Now I can see you guys again. That was just a short demo of how a basic flight works. How you go to the hangar, select your plane, take off, shoot some airplanes, and come back. That was all just an offline demo. The next video is just a bomber mission going to destroy a hangar.
I started offline practice and go into the hangar, and I can select a bomber, B-17. I'm going to make sure that this formation box is checked, and then take off to the east. So, since I'm climbing for a while, I'm going to get up a little bit of speed, and then I pressed Alt-X to enter autopilot climb. In a bomber, you can man the different gun positions in your bomber by pressing the number keys on your keyboard. So for example, here's number 2, takes me to the ball turret, 3 to the top turret, 4 to the tail gun position. I can move these around with my joystick and fire at enemies that come in. Notice that the drones that are following me fire along with me, so it increases the firepower of what I'm firing at. To get back to the pilot position, I press the number 1, and there I'm back flying the plane. Okay, I'm coming up on 6,000 feet right there. I'm going to wiggle my stick, and that disengages the autopilot. I can re-engage it if I want, or fly manually, of course. I'm going to go ahead and hit X. X puts me in the autopilot for level flight. In bombers, you have to maneuver a little more gently to keep your drones with you. So there's a drone there and a drone there. If I go into a turn, a reasonable turn like that, they can stay with me. But you'll notice if I crank into a really hard turn, I will lose my drones. Now I'm headed toward A39. I'm going to go ahead and open my bomb bay doors with the O key. So I can go into my bomb site by pressing, once I'm in the pilot seat, pressing F6. There I'm in my bomb site, and I'm going ahead and calibrate. So I'm going to press U to enter calibration mode. Now it says hold down Y for a while to calibrate your bomb site. I'm going to hold it down for about 8 seconds.
This forces you to fly straight and level.
And now when it's done with that, I press U again. And now my bomb site is calibrated. It's a little bit off by a couple miles an hour. That's not too bad. So I can hit my Z key, and it can zoom in, and I can hit my bracket keys, which are near the enter key on my keyboard, to zoom in and out like this. So I'll use that to get a better sight of my target. There it is. I'm going to push my stick to the left to line up on a building there. The stick turns your plane in autopilot mode when you're in a bombardier. So I'm going to line up on this big hangar right here and zoom in on it. There we go. Line it up a little bit there, and when my crosshairs are over that building, I'm going to press my bomb release. My bay doors are open, so if you don't have them open, they won't release. Good. Here we go. Bombs away. I'm going to go ahead and hit U again, even though I don't need to calibrate, but it'll show me straight down. And now I can see those bombs. See the little sparkles there. There they go. Took out that hangar. And I'm going to hit F1 to get back into my pilot seat. Press O to close my bay doors. Now I am cleaned up in the pilot position, ready to land.
And that's just a basic bombing mission. There's guys who will form up with about 15 people, which makes 15 times 3, which makes 45 bombers all in a group formation going across the arena, which makes a lot of fun trying to go attack it. There's a lot of bullets coming at you.
Dale, we've had some questions come in already, and if you don't mind answering them, one of the questions was if you could download skins and put them on the aircraft.
Yeah, we have almost all aircraft have at least 16 skins. We just expanded that for the ability to make 32 different skins.
Okay, and then the other question that came in was that someone saw that there were several positions like the tail gunner and ball gunner. Would you be able to play with other people in the same aircraft?
When you're flying a formation, you get one other person who can be your gunner for you. So you can be flying the airplane doing the bombing. He can be and you can man your aircraft. He can man the other 2 aircraft, or all 3 if he wishes.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
The next video is just more of what gameplay really looks like. It was made by a player who they had a 12-hour running battle creating the Battle of Britain back and forth where they're keeping track of scoring. And then it becomes much more of a military style organized event. You'll hear targets calling, all the voices you hear as part of the I has the ability to basically have 2 radios, 2 people that just stand for your tail, the English can like play or whatever.
Zero flight heading 120,
Roger. Through 17, Angel 17.
Roger, Rabbits, go level. Bandits are on target to par 7-1, port 7-1.
Right.
Now, 8 miles, you're 12 o'clock.
Copy, Rabbits going level.
Drop time, turn right. Bandit, fighter, in your 3 o'clock threat.
I got a dot. 11 o'clock low. Keep with.
Copy.
You have more questions?
Rabbits, come further right, heading 160.
Rabbits,
maintain level.
Bombers on the deck. Gray, take them. Right in front of you, Gray, on the deck. Go ahead and take them.
Roger, I'm looking.
Dan 2, we got viz on bombers on the deck.
Okay.
Oh, Roger.
Bombers are in trouble. There is a single Ju-88. There's a single low Ju-88 tree at the coast near Drop Time and Bixby. All others are high.
Copy that.
Bixby, turn right, Ju-88. Drop Time, turn left, Ju-88. You've got them. Everybody else take by one.
The 111s, they're hurt pretty bad.
He just dropped bombs. Watch him. He's in his guns now.
Where's the low one?
I
just took it off. 72. Bangs box, turn left, correction, turn right, heading 270. Buffs are past you. However, there is a fight, Zash, to the south of you. The main fight is now in your 12 o'clock.
Roger, I'm wounded.
Yeah, that's you.
Another 111, man.
That's a bad guy.
Okay, 111's approaching the coast now.
Two of the 111s are down. It's a group of 3.
Dark.
Check 109, guys.
Making a run for it.
Just black.
Kid.
They do have fighters with them, and further fighters join.
Another 109 coming in low, kid. Yeah, cuz.
Go for a drop down on RTV.
We're going to 109, kid.
He's down.
Wiser, you have a 109 manoeuvring for your tail on your left side.
Copy, got a vis. Guys, low, check 109 coming in. Coming in hot.
That one.
Yeah, I'm hot, you're clear.
Main fight is now 5 miles southeast.
Good as anybody.
5 miles southeast, 7-1, low level. Below 5.
109, check 109 diving in. Guys, check it.
Okay. All local bandits are engaged. Big picture, 5 miles east. Pair looking to engage.
Corky breaking off the engagement.
5-minute run.
Kid, check it, cuz. 109.
Check it, Bixby.
Watch it, Big. Shot.
Finally. Good grief.
Okay, situation update. Single, 5 miles east of main group, running, inbound, pair, 10 miles further east. Pair inbound to engage, now 15 miles east of main force.
Copy that, top hat.
Grab.
I need to rearm.
Now would be a very good time to get some altitude. This pair should be yours.
Drop and shove that 109's back into your fight. Coming in from the east.
2 bandits, you've got 4 forming 10 miles, from 5 miles to 10 miles to your east. They are not hot yet, but they are turning towards you.
Healy 6. Copy. Do you want Marine Flight to intercept the incoming from the east?
Yes, Marine Flight, can you cover it? You've got a single down nose on the fight. He's in your 11 o'clock, 4 miles. You've got 2 firing behind him. Okay, that is the threat there in your 10 o'clock now.
RTV 72, give her flight. RTV 72.
Roger. Dropping in on this fight. Got 1 fresh 109 into your fight.
Top hat,
Okay.
give her flight. RTV 72.
Roger. Can you, Gregor, turn right, heading 170. Correction, make that 160. Gain altitude. Fight is all over the shop.
Roger. We got a couple 109.
0 Carmen.
There's 2 more 109.
Top gun on 109.
they're going away.
Sad, I'm hot, you're clear.
Marine, come get them. I'm out. Winchester.
Pop it up for a second.
You have a 109 in your 9 o'clock, correction 3 o'clock.
Copy that.
SG, you have friend at 2 o'clock, 3 miles, needs help. You also are trailing fighter, 6 o'clock, 4 miles.
Copy that, thank you.
Okay, Gregor is now to your east, tracking southeast.
I'm engaged with 111s and a 109.
Sass, break.
SG trying to join you.
I'm oiled. I'm dead.
Crap.
Oh, 110. I'm out of ammo.
The base is under attack.
Coming back to you. Ooh, one just nosed in.
We're disengaged.
Yes. Roger. Track back to shore. There is a single fighter to your southwest. Seems confused. Copy. Estimated angels known. Okay, he's now going small circles. I think he might have been lost. He may have run. If he does, you won't catch him.
Forward mission number 2.
Now crossing you from right to left, 4 miles. Closure good. Hold heading, you'll come onto his 6 in less than a minute. Okay, he's waiting.
Contacts. Bombers. Yep, bombers. You got vis on bombers.
Tally-ho, go get him.
Looks like escorts. 109s, guys, 109s.
Marine shuffler group,
They're all
turn
109s,
right.
110. Bombers must be behind them.
They're low, Wiser.
They're all in one big
Copy.
gaggle at the moment.
Alright, copy. We
Marine
got
group.
multiple 109s and 110. 20 30.
Marine shuffler group, turn right, heading 080. Bandits hot, 10 miles.
Roger that, 080.
Got vis on the 111s. I'm for the 109s.
Group scattering.
Check the 109s. Check the 109, honestly.
Watch, you guys, the 109s are behind you.
Copy, Sam. Want to make a run on the bombers, guys.
There's a
Quick
lot
run on
of
the
them.
bombers. Drive the bombers, fighters down.
Shuffler group, bandits, 12 o'clock, 5 miles, hot.
XP check.
Visual on bombers, just below. That's right over them.
Shuffler group, bandits will appear in your 11 o'clock momentarily. Bandits in your 11 o'clock.
Charlie, 101. 11 o'clock. On
Turn
the
left
deck
now
below.
for intercept.
Trap break.
Shuffler confirmed, tally-ho. Get him.
Confirm.
Watch that speed.
What's the 109, Corky?
Be advised, group stretched 10 miles. Most fighters appear to be off the back.
Copy, they are. Check 109.
Shuffler check.
Corky, check it, 109 now.
I'm good.
Corky, 109 and 110.
I'm all dinged up. I'll try and get down.
Yeah, didn't ram him this time?
109.
No, blacking out though.
Ooh.
The enemy is attacking.
Okay, crash, turn left, tracking 09 10 miles.
Break. Ah, flat spin.
Out of ammo.
Shuffle around your 109. Everybody check it. Watch that guy.
That's gonna get me. I'm flat spin.
Go down 12 o'clock to main or head lead group. 7 miles. Hot. Charlie bomb.
109 Silver Bird. 109's off.
You got second one picking you up, drop. Third one.
Ammo.
Situation update. Number of re-up bandits tracking north away from the fight. Not playing. Not bad.
Marine tracking 109.
Blacked out, I ditched.
61
Smoking. Weiser, he's off.
Shuffle group that bandit. Shuffle group that bandit you're in pursuit of is the only one at the back. The nearest at 10 miles in chase.
Pick up the low 109.
Ward, you're gonna far 6 110. Go out with you. You're sandwiched.
Copy, sir. I don't think it's gonna be a really good idea to re-arm up 46.
Be a terrible idea. Don't land here, guys. It's about to be bombed. Do not land at 46 unless you really need to. Okay,
I've got no oil. Yeah, thank you.
2K behind that 110 is a 109. Except you've got bandits closing your long stick.
Back, we got a bleeding one behind you.
Okay, Marines turning 10, you're good.
War 110.
Second guy's 109.
Okay, he's off, he's going to go back onto Steely, I think.
Okay, got another high 109 coming back in.
I wouldn't worry about the wheels, Steely.
Anyway, that's a good idea of what big battles are like in Ghost Squadron or Aces High.
How many players were engaged in that one? There were obviously Brits and Germans.
Yeah, I would imagine there was 150, 200 people playing at that time. They wouldn't all be in one central spot because, you know, they got big areas to cover, different targets that the ME-110s are going after, or the 111s are going after in the Battle of Britain, that type of thing. So they're all over, and guys are running screens and that type of thing. So
Right.
that was just one flight mostly you were seeing the action of.
So somebody was asking how to talk to other people, how to talk to other pilots during the game. Can you show people how to do that?
I can describe it to you, or I can bring up the game real quick. But it's in essence, there's two forms of communication. One is just basically you tune the radio either to a I'm starting up in my more normal debug fashion here, but one is that you just tune a radio to a normal channel. The channels, some channels can be intercepted by the other country. Some channels are private to your country only. You can also just tune your radio to a specific player. It's like this radio that you're seeing right over here, where my cursor is the voice radio. I can just tune that to channel 101 or 200 or 201, wherever we agree to go on. There's also special channels Like I can tune it just to my squad. Squads are a specific entity in the game. Or if you're running a mission, these are CMs, mine only commands, voice stuff. Let me see what we got. Or a mission. If you're part of a mission, there's a mission channel automatically that just broadcasts to your mission. In addition to the tunable channel, there's automatically what we call a range channel. When you key up that radio, anybody in, I don't know, it's like probably a 3-4 mile range of you automatically hears you. So if you see an airplane, you can just key the mic and you'll know they'll hear you. So those are the two forms of radios.
And another question, is there like for people who are maybe maybe haven't played online gaming before, is there a way to have kind of like a test group or something? How do people who haven't played before jump on the game and know what to do?
If you just as you start the game as a brand new player, each step to get you into the air has a video associated with it, telling you what to do, how to go online, how to select an airplane, that type of thing. In addition, we have a full training staff that you can contact via our web pages. And we also have some and are working on more what we call offline missions. This is like a carrier training mission. You just select the mission, hit go. By the way, is this playing fairly well? Because I'm live game here. Is it animating fairly good on the screen?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's helpful because some people are there. It seems there's a lot of people who haven't seen this before. So even just going through the steps of getting on the game, I think is helpful.
For some reason, I'm not hearing its sound. Hold on a second. I can't pause. It's because I got the sound turned off in the game. Options, preferences. Come on. It told me right there. It just told what we're going to do. But let me get my game sounds on here real quick. That's better. So this is just a little carrier mission for learning. It teaches you all the key stuff. It tells you to press Shift D to start your engine. And there's more than this for just training missions, and there'll be more coming up. Then change throttle. You got to raise the gear by pressing the little arrows you're seeing on the screen are just direction arrows. The minus is less throttle. If I bring up clipboard, showing me a path. I'm just basically doing a standing pattern. Is that what you were asking?
Yeah, I think so. Also, we had a question come in. Is there a way to hear just ground or just air so we don't hear the air chatter or ground chatter?
Yeah, because then if you're on the ground, you can just tune to individual words.
Yeah, and Dale, if the video is playing, it's kind of hard to hear you, so maybe yell.
Just give me 1 second. I'll turn the sound down here.
Okay.
Is that better? Now can you hear me?
Oh yeah, that's good. Yep, okay. Yep.
So the arrows are just telling me which way to go from flight path. There. And it'll just march me around to do a carrier landing. And rumor has it Ken is really, really great at carrier landing.
Yeah, once in a while.
So while you guys are doing this, someone's asked if the game can be flown via keyboard and mouse, or does it have to be with a flight controller?
It can absolutely be flown with a mouse, but it's much more difficult. Okay, now it's just telling me to lower my flaps. It also, we're fully VR headset support.
And I'll point out that you can set the game to easy mode to get started, which does make it a lot easier. And you can actually land on the carrier sometimes in easy mode. And then there are varying degrees of realism that you can feed back into it as you get more experience.
And someone was curious about if there's a specific manufacturer, a flight stick, throttle, and rudder pedals that you guys support or that you recommend for the game.
I can't really give you a recommendation for one because there's so many, but every joystick we support. We also just now support some motion platforms like Yaw VR. Slip. Look. This is gonna be bad.
Yeah, it's gonna be ugly.
Yeah, we got it. Come on. Hey, we caught a wire. Woohoo!
All right, can you do that? So someone wants to know, when you're landing, can you explain how to do the settings to hear just ground with no range air chatter?
Just ground traffic control is what they're asking.
Let me check here. I'm unmuting Mothman so he can ask the question.
Can you guys hear me?
All right, Mothman, go ahead.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, Moss.
The question I have is, whenever we're doing ground battles and there's about like 6 or 7, 8 tanks around, a lot of times we have fighters that'll come over us and we hear their air chatter and it kind of gets confusing about who's calling out who. And I was wondering if there was a way to remove the air chatter so just ground vehicles, when we're taking a base, we can talk to each other without having to hear, all the air chatter going on above us.
There is ways to do that. You would just mute the range channel and agree on everybody in the tank to tune a specific voice channel. Would fix that issue for you.
Okay.
But by design, it's typically meant that if you see somebody and you talk on range channel, you sort of want them to hear it. I mean, there might be a reason the plane actually wants to communicate with you, but what you're asking for, there is ways to accomplish that if you really want to.
Okay, because once again, like I said, when I do a lot of ground battles, and one of the things the problem we run into is we just constantly hear air chatter, and it interrupts when, I'm trying to tell the guy, hey, there's a tank at your 11 o'clock, 500 yards. And, we constantly have air chatter cutting us out.
Yeah, just turn the volume of your range channel down. Because you have individual volume controls for range and voice, or range and room, they're called.
Outstanding, thank you.
I think that's in the voice setup is where that is. I'll double check options, preferences, so I'm not lying. Voice. Should be. I lied to you. You can't change the individual volumes. Yeah. Put it on the wish list. I'll catch it within a week or two.
That would be great if you can do that, Dale.
Sure, no problem. That's fairly trivial to do. I'll just throw another slide here in for the 2 playback volumes. Or I'll just put a mute on the other ones, probably possibly both. But yeah, I'll catch that in the next release.
Are Track IR devices supported?
Yes, they are. In fact, I think the guy you saw flying was using Track IR. That was either a VR headset or Track IR that he was looking around his airplane with, because that was just straight video capture from the game.
Okay, do you guys have a recommended aircraft to start with? If you are new to the game, is there one that is probably the easier or the basic model to start with?
Spit 9's really popular. It's reasonably fast, turns fairly well. Doesn't turn with, like, some of the Yaks will turn better. All the 109 series climb better. All the 51s and the FWs are faster. But as a general purpose airplane, it's a good plane to start with.
The P-51 is fairly reasonable for a beginner as well.
It's an easy plane to fly. That is correct. It's a difficult plane to get kills in. Because of the 50 cals make it a little less lethal than the cannon-based airplanes. And it doesn't turn-wise, it doesn't keep up with a lot of the airplanes. But if you learn how to do energy fighting, then it's a great airplane. So it's one of the top 3 popular airplanes, the Mustang is.
So I'm going to say this out loud because we have people watching on YouTube that don't see the chat, but other people are saying the Zeke, the Spit, and the Brewster are easy ones. The Brewster is very forgiving, is what people are saying. And then we had somebody, Trevor joined us late. He said, is this separate from AH3? So do you guys want to go review for people who might have joined late and explain a little bit about what this game is?
Ghost Squadron right now is hooked to the same arena as the Melee arena, and I forgot what other arena we have up in Ghost Squadron. As it progresses, we're doing that because otherwise we can't get a critical mass to get going. Eventually, Ghost Squadron will split off into its own world is the game plan.
Functionality-wise, it is AH3.
Yeah, for all intents and purposes, it is. All feature sets are exactly the same. The title screen and the name looks different. That answer his question?
So I think so. So basically, to tell people who are on the call what they can do to kind of help get the game going more, could you give some advice of things that you're looking for to kind of create that critical mass, who people can invite, how people can get help, and let other people know about how to access the game?
I'll take that. Right now we're in word of mouth mode. We've been advertising to basically all CAF members. Once you get on and you're comfortable with the game, you can invite anybody you want. It doesn't have to be another CAF member. So if you've got a buddy that you want to dogfight with, or a half a dozen people that want to form a squadron and fight somebody else, that's the objective. Get some action going in the Ghost Squadron area.
Okay, and on that topic, people are asking, what does it cost?
From now through September, nothing. It just requires getting in and being active.
During this growing process to reach critical mass, I would assume will remain free until that time that we can have enough people that it's actually playable.
And so I think to critical mass, to people who might be brand new to the game, this means that the more people that are familiar with CAF and can create CAF aircraft and talk about CAF units and things like that will create a community for the game, so it will kind of become more unique, a more unique game and a more branded commemorative Air Force game. So that's what we're looking to do right now during this this build up period.
That's what it's about. Dale, what would you described to me one time what you really wanted to see to know that it'll carry on by itself. was some number of players during peak evening time.
Yeah, you got to get to close to 100 players peak, which equates to roughly 1,000 total players. To get 100 players makes a good critical mass. You can have a very good game with 100 people, and it'll continue to grow.
Oh, bring your friends.
Right, and someone is saying, so is it possible that one CAF wing could challenge another CAF unit wing?
Absolutely.
Yeah, AH has, in Aces High, we have an arena specifically set up for that, for doing 2v2s, 4v4s, 8v8s, that type of thing. You also have the ability to create your own world and go do that as you wish. Ace High has a lot of, and Ghost Squadron both, have a lot of flexibility from creating your own complete terrain set, your own skins, your own objects. All that stuff is player created content that can be done. You also have then the ability to control your own arena up to 16 players. And those numbers can be changed if we desire.
Yep, you can build your own missions, you can build your own squadrons, you can challenge other squadrons. You know, my vision all along has been that every CAF unit would have a squadron and get engaged with the other ones. And someday we could do a World War II replay with some units that aren't in the CAF in Europe or Japan. And it's all doable. It just takes people to help do it.
So Jim is asking, how do people sign up? And right now we're sending out links to CAF members to sign up, but what we will do is email people who registered for this call with a link to sign up and to try it out, because we're, like we've said, we're looking to get people who are either interested in the CAF or interested in online gaming to kind of work on the game, build up critical mass, check it out, and let us know what they think. Another person has asked, will this have E&Y when there's a low number of players?
You mean in the Ghost Squadron arenas?
Yes.
No idea. We haven't talked about how we're going to configure E&Y balancing. Right now, Aces High actually doesn't have E&Y either below a certain number of players. I don't remember where that number is, and it ramps up. What E&Y is, for those that don't know, it stands for enemy. So that we could put into the game very dominant aircraft like the ME-262 without having people fly it all the time. We implemented what's called a Perk point system, which you earn points for shooting down other aircraft. And then if you fly like a 262, if you die in that airplane, you lose those points. Well, each aircraft has its own individual rating, from like the either the 163 or 262 being one of the top rated airplanes, down to the lower ones. Well, as the countries get out of balance, you only get to fly the lower value, the harder aircraft, if your country has the biggest population. It's a form of balancing the sides. Is what E&Y is what is referring to. It's short for enemy, the enemy rating of an airplane.
Well, Dale, thank you so much for saying that, because I was too embarrassed to ask what E&Y was. I even tried to Google it while we're on the call, so thank you.
It stems from, I needed room on the column in the hangar to put the value of the airplane. So up here you see E&Y. Well, that actually stands for the enemy value or the object value. This is for what the value it is for hitting bombers. This is the value for hitting against other aircraft. And how many points you get is just simply the two numbers divided by each other. We're offline, so they're all zeros, but if you're online, you'll actually see the ratings of the airplane. And over here, this column, how much it costs to fly the airplanes. you want, we'll pop online real quick and I'll show you the actual values. So now we have the actual values. Like in the bomber, a B-29 currently costs you 181 points. It all depends on how many, the price fluctuates based on the balance of the arena. I have just a few perk, here's how many perk points I totally have to go fly aircraft. And in fighters, a low value means a better airplane. So like if
so how do you get points if you don't have any? If you're starting off, how do you get points?
You just kill airplanes. Most of the airplanes are free. Like if you look at here's all the fighters, all except 5 aircraft are completely free to go fly. And for instance, if you're flying a airplane with a value of 5 and you kill an airplane with a value of 10, you earn 2 points. Just very simply, the 5 divided by 10 gives you or the other way around, you'd earn half a point. The 5 divided by 10 gives you a half a point. Where if the other guy, if the 10 valued plane beats a 5, he gets 10 divided by 5 or 2 points. So the worst plane you're in, you earn a lot more points quickly by shooting down better airplanes.
Unfortunately, you get shot down more often too.
That's correct, and it costs you nothing to die. So unless you're in an airplane with a cost. So when you're flying like a 262, if you die, you can take it off as long as you have 331 points, and if you land it, you don't lose a thing. But if you die, you lose those points. So usually when you have a 262 in the air, a lot of people are trying to shoot him down.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions?
So is there a recommended network speed per player?
No.
So someone's suggesting that maybe they would get some computers to bring to a hangar at one of the CAF units to try and show people, kind of socialize it and show people in the wing how to do it in person. So do you have any insight there?
It is really low. How to put it? Best way I can describe it is to show you my end of the bandwidth, and we'll do some calcs from there real quick.
Well, kind of the bottom line there is that most of the computing goes on the individual computers.
The computer does, yeah. The computing goes on the individual's computer, but bandwidth-wise, it's hardly anything because of that. Because you're just, for instance, if I look at this is a bandwidth cycle right here of the main arena.
It's not on the screen.
Oh, I'm sorry. Now it is.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was looking at the wrong screen. This is the bandwidth utilization of our main arena. So when this is probably about 180 players up is using 1.7 megabits of data. So any internet connection will play fine. Is the reality, as long as you aren't trying to do satellite, which introduces a long lag time back and forth. But I mean, technically the game would still just play just fine on a 28.8 modem. I do a lot of tricky stuff to keep the bandwidth really low. That answers.
Someone wants to know if there's future plans for an Apple Mac version of the game.
No, not at all.
Okay. And could you play this on a mobile device?
No.
Okay. So, and I think you have, and we've tried to provide it out to people too, when on the same website where you would sign up, there's also a link that will test to see if the game will function correctly on your computer. So that I think is really helpful before you even go anywhere, just to kind of check and see if the game will run properly on your computer is a good.
We have that. I'm not just, I don't remember putting it there, so but okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we've tried to put it out there so that people, before they sign up, even they can test to make sure that it will work on their computer.
Okay.
And alternatively, you can just go to the game and go to a practice area and try it. And it'll be obvious if it's working or not.
Yeah, the requirements are much more just, you need any PC with Windows 7 or later, and the biggest requirement is just which graphics board you're running, that you're running a reasonable gaming board, not a laptop business PC won't typically do it.
So, and this might be, we're having people kind of joining us, especially on YouTube as we go. So someone wants to know if the system requirements are the same as AH3.
100%. It's the same product. So yes.
Cool. Well, I think I'm not getting any questions on either front so far. So I will just let everybody know who is on the call. Oh, here we go. Can you do big missions with the whole bomber crew?
With a whole bomber crew. You can do missions with 1,000 people. Is that what you're asking? And each person will have 3 airplanes. So yeah, you can do huge missions. Is that what you're asking?
I'm going to ask Jonathan to unmute himself so he can ask the question himself. Okay, there we go.
What I'm asking is, Dale, I used to play Warbirds years ago. And what I'm asking is, can we set it up to where each computer is a gunner's position?
No, you can't.
A single plane mission.
No, you get one gunner, you get a pilot, and you get one other gunner for the formation. The reason is that, I mean, I wrote it in Warbirds too. I wrote the whole gunner system there. The trade-off is that very rarely was your airplane manned completely full of gunners. So then you're left with, you either have to put AI into the unmanned gunner positions or leave them not shoot. You leave them not shoot, most people don't fly bombers because they're undefended and they don't become that much fun. Conversely, what we went with in Aces High was a system that one person can shoot all the guns from a single station. So he has all the firepower going out there to defend himself. Now, if you want to try it gets really complex, which person is controlling which position is the reason we don't have that you can't load up an aircraft.
Oh, okay. I understand that. I flew Warbirds back in the early teens. So I understand what you're trying to do.
Warbirds or Air Warrior? Oh, the early 2000 teens. Okay.
Yeah. I was also wondering, can we set up to where we could reenact historical missions with bombers and try to get wings together to do that? Have guys fly the German side and guys fly the American side.
That's done all the time. We also have an arena that's continuous Axis versus Allied. But the reenactment of missions, that's the video I was playing, unless you weren't here for the demo. I was playing Battle of Britain.
Okay.
That guys were doing. There's also something called Friday Squad Ops. It's sort of like a bowling league where squads combat each other for specific events every Friday night. It's like a league night in a different arena where they'll have dedicated targets, and typically they're like 60v60 or 100v100 type range.
Okay, that's all I had.
Okay, it looks like Mothman had something to add to that, so I'm going to ask Mothman to unmute himself so he can explain what he put in the chat.
Also, a lot of players know more about this stuff than I do, quite frankly. So.
Oh, the only thing I was just commenting is that you can have a gunner along with the bomber pilot both get in either one of the three bomber planes. The guy who jumps in as a gunner will be in bomber 1, but the pilot can jump in 1, 2, or 3. And if the pilot needs to turn the actual bomber left or right, he can use the actual rudder to turn the bomber to keep the fighter on his 6 if the fighter's trying to come around and try to get a 3 or 9 o'clock shot on the bomber.
Basically, you get to maneuver the autopilot when you're the gunner using your rudder pedals.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, well, great. So I just put in the chat to everyone in both YouTube and on Zoom. If people think of questions further on down the road, they can email us and we'll get an answer for you. We'll keep the video of this meeting up on YouTube for a while, so people can go on there and rewatch the video if there's something that they missed. And we'll be sending out a link to everybody who registered for the call, the link to register to sign up for the beta Ghost Squadron game, and let us know what you think of it. And I will turn it over to Dale and Kent if there's any additional things that I forgot to bring up.
Come play my game. It's really cool.
Yeah, I agree. It is, I would say, more like amazing. As a pilot, having flown a few different kinds of planes, it acts just like the real plane. If you were watching the video, you heard the stall warning go off. You saw the screen kind of shrink down and go black while the pilot is pulling G's and blacking out. And that's exactly what it looks like in the real world.
Yeah.
So it is very realistic. And again, you can start out in easy mode. If you're not a pilot, you start out in easy mode and it's easy. There are also a bunch of player videos about how to fly, period. So you can get the idea of how to use the rudder pedals, and the stick does this and the throttle does that. There are training videos on YouTube. There's one for flying a T6, and basically if you follow what they're doing in a T6, that'll work with almost any fighter. Set up a glide slope. If you want to do a carrier landing or a high-speed turn to a landing, you can find that all on YouTube through the help screens or help information on the game. So I appreciate you all showing up at this rather strange hour, but we want to make sure folks who are working could get here.
How many people
across the country? So unless there are other questions, I would say we're about done.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much. We had about 41 people register for the call, and I have not counted, but we had a number of people online as well. So we'll get that information out to everybody. And thank you very much. We appreciate you watching and also appreciate you playing. So thank you guys. I hope everyone is doing well, is safe, healthy, and we'll see you online.
All right. Thank you for arranging this, Leah.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.